Hello, dear students. I hope you are doing well with your flying training and the ground training. Today, I'm going to cover with you a very important aspect of flying, and that is how much load can you carry in the aircraft, and what are the different definitions connected with the load. And this subject, there's hardly an examination which will not have a question or two from this subject. Get ready, pay attention, miss out anything, see it again. Let's understand a few terms, maybe some of them you may be hearing for the first time. Do note them if you like. To start with, there is just that basic aircraft and whatever it contains or is carrying, like lubricants, fuel which is in the pipelines, etc., etc. That is called a basic empty mass of an airplane. Some aircraft carry some special equipment with them, which is not available at the other end, and that is called tail. Now this weight will be known as a tail weight. Practically, it means something. This is your starting point, and this you would know from your aircraft manual. Now, depending upon the rules and regulations, there is a certain crew you will carry, that is your air crew and ground crew, and the equipment that they carry with them, all the food, liquor bottles, etc. So basic empty mass plus crew and their special equipment is known as the dry operating mass, DOM. Call it B. Now, B, that is dry operating mass, if I add the traffic load, okay, although traffic load will be calculated in the end, let's say I have already calculated DOM plus traffic load is known as the zero fuel mass, that my aircraft is now ready but without the fuel. C, that is zero fuel mass, plus now I'll put in the fuel. I will add fuel for the flight, including reserves. And many big aircraft need a lot of fuel for startup and taxi, so they carry this extra fuel, which will be used up before the takeoff, startup and taxi fuel. And now the mass of the aircraft is known as the ramp mass, and the fuel is known as the ramp fuel, and also known as the block fuel, also known as the total fuel on board. At the time of takeoff, the startup and taxi would have been used. So this ramp mass minus the startup and taxi fuel will be your takeoff mass. And you must ensure that it is equal to or less than the maximum takeoff mass which is specified for this aeroplane. Right? If need, we go through it again and then go to the next slide. There are some more terms still to be learned. Stand by. Some more terms you need to add in your vocabulary, that is useful or disposable load. It is the usable fuel, not the reserve, usable fuel plus the traffic load. And traffic load, also known as the payload, for which the airline gets paid, it is passengers plus cargo. Every aircraft has got a maximum takeoff mass. This is the maximum permissible weight at the time of takeoff, also known as the maximum structural takeoff mass. You can't take off more than this mass, the aircraft may not even get airborne. Right? Then, depending upon the type of undercarriage and the landing speeds, many aircraft have got a restriction imposed that this will be your maximum landing mass, also known as maximum structural landing mass. If you land with more than this mass, it is at your own risk. You may damage or your undercarriage may collapse. Then, now if you are carrying very little fuel, does not mean you land up more number of passengers. Yes, but there is a limit. Every aircraft has got a maximum zero fuel mass. That means even if you have zero fuel, then the mass of the aircraft should not exceed this particular value. And zero fuel weight or mass is nothing else but weight of the aircraft at any stage less the usable fuel only usable fuel is known as the zero fuel weight. Now, when there are restrictions of landing mass and zero fuel mass, then we carry out another exercise before calculating the traffic load. That is part A, is maximum takeoff specified by the manufacturer or the regulated due to maybe runway restrictions, etc. That is known as an RTOM, maximum takeoff mass. Then to your maximum landing mass, which is given to you, add the fuel you are going to burn, which means this should be your takeoff weight so that after burning this fuel, when you reach at the other end, your aircraft is within landing mass. To the maximum zero fuel mass specified, add the total fuel on board at the time of takeoff. The lowest of these three of A, B, C will be now maximum permitted takeoff mass for this particular flight. Out of that, remove dry operating mass and the fuel on board, and rest will be your traffic load. Well, sometimes if you are given a limited information, find out. To find out maximum traffic load, if you are given the maximum takeoff mass and dry operating mass and fuel on board, subtract it like we just did, you will get the traffic load. If you are given the maximum zero fuel mass, then reduce the dry operating mass. Rest will be your permitted takeoff load. Maximum landing mass minus dry operating mass plus reserves will also give you the traffic load. These are the various possibilities. One is that these restrictions are given. Then secondly, only this information is given. Okay. And he wants you to find out the traffic load. Well, maybe looking a little mixed up now, but read it twice. And then do a number of numericals, and I have given you some for your practice. Here are your numericals for practice. Please note them down and do these questions before you look at the next slide, which has answers. In the first question, he wants you to calculate part A, the traffic load, and part B, what will be the landing mass if I'm carrying a particular traffic load, not this traffic load. He says you are carrying only 20,000. What will be your landing mass? int, your takeoff mass minus the fuel consumed is your landing mass. Rest everything is on board. In the question number 2, he has given you restrictions also. So that A, B, and C, and then calculate the maximum takeoff mass, and then calculate your payload or traffic load. And third is a question, the takeoff mass is 45,000 kgs, including 5,000 kgs fuel on board. After 1 hour of flight, he has consumed 1,000 kgs of fuel. What will be the aircraft all-up weight, total weight at this time? And what will be its zero fuel weight at this time? These are the 3 questions. And I suggest go through the entire vocabulary, remember the things, try them yourself, and yes, then go ahead and check your answers. Here are your answers. Question number 1, I've done it for you, the full question. Traffic load is 24,700. Question number 1B, landing mass. You can do it by 2 methods, whichever you find more convenient. Question number 2, answer is A alpha, and 3 is B bravo. Good luck. If you have done all 3 correct, well done. If not, go through the lesson once again and don't be satisfied till you get all your answers correct, plus some more from wherever you get. Good luck. All the best. Happy landings. And before you log about a like for the video and a subscribe for the channel, and you can press the bell icon, you'll get notifications also, then you will remain in touch with me. Share it with your friends also. I stop it here for the day. Bye-bye. Happy landings.